Hello everyone and welcome to another lesson here with me, Anna English. It's all a bit crazy today. It's one of those days, isn't it? It's Black Friday, a day when everyone goes a little bit mental over shopping. Things are also a little bit chaotic here. You may be able to hear we have a lawnmower going on outside because there are leaves to be picked up and a lawn to be mowed, so there's lots of noise outside. I've got little baby Jacob is fast asleep. He's not been himself recently because he had his vaccinations on Monday, so I did promise he might be on camera for this lesson, but because he's not been very happy, he is with his grandma being well looked after. But hopefully he'll be well enough to come and say hello to you guys next week. I do hope you're all well, and I hope that you haven't overspent on this Black Friday. But as it is Black Friday, I thought I would use this opportunity to teach you some new vocabulary and pronunciation, as well as you getting the opportunity to do some English reading and listening. So just like with the last session, we are going to go through some new vocabulary first, find out what it means and how we use it, and then I'll read the article that contains that vocabulary, which hopefully you will completely understand and have no problems with. I'm going to say a quick hello to my patrons. Hi, the patron and VIP room is open, so do feel free to put your comments and questions in there. And for everyone watching me on YouTube right now, there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions at the end. So do hold your pronunciation requests to the very end of the session, and I will do my very best to give you my attention then. So what is Black Friday? Some of you are asking. It's a huge sales day in America and in the UK. I'm not sure about other countries, so if you're not in America and you're not in the UK, but you do have Black Friday, please let us know. It's basically a day when all the stores cut their prices, so they have a huge sale, and so everyone goes crazy buying lots of things, probably lots of things they don't need in the run-up to Christmas, and also just to get a good bargain. So let's get straight on into the lesson, and as always I have prepared some notes for you. So let's have a look at this vocabulary. So the first word I want to introduce you to is the word genuine, and in this article it's used as genuinely. And if you do something genuinely, it means you do it in a truthful way. So to be genuine means to be real, to be truthful. A genuine person is an honest and truthful person. So if you do something genuinely, you do it in a truthful way. I might say to someone, I'm fantastic on the trampoline. And they say, really? You say, yes, genuinely, I'm fantastic on a trampoline. And I mean truthfully, honestly. So here's another word for you to add to your vocabulary. Instead of using honestly, try using genuinely. She was genuinely pleased to see me. She was genuinely upset. So it's a great word to add to your list. Next on the list is the word poised. To have poise, to be poised and ready is a phrase we often use. And it is like it sounds. To be poised and ready means you're ready and prepared to do something. So maybe I am ready to jump on that trampoline, and you can see my stature. I'm ready to jump. I'm poised. My physical my physical being shows that I'm ready to jump. So I'm poised. I'm ready. So there you go. And the next we have is the word primed. It's very similar. Primed. Let's have a quick look. And if something is primed, it means it's been prepared. It's ready for action. So you might say that a vehicle is primed, or a student is primed to go into the workplace. So something that's prepared to go into action. And then we have this fantastic word, extravaganza. Extravaganza. Now, an extravaganza is a spectacular piece of entertainment or a production. If any of you have ever seen the Baz Luhrmann film Moulin Rouge, you would say that's an extravaganza. It's a very spectacular film. There's lots of fantastic costumes, lots of amazing music. It's very showy. So something that's very big, brash. It's a spectacular event, incredible to watch, big production value. It's an extravaganza. Okay? So there we go. 4 new words. Genuinely, honestly, poised and primed, means you're ready, and extravaganza, wow. So what I'd like you to do is to try to use some of these words, if they're new to you, in a sentence now. Write a comment down in the comment section and see if you can use these words within a sentence. By using words that are new to you, you are putting them into your long-term memory. So let's do it straight away. Write me a sentence. And while you do that, I'm just going to say a quick hello to my patrons. Hello, Francesca. Hello, Alexandra. How are you? Francesca says, we have Black Friday in Italy and in Malta, where I live now. Wow, you live in Malta. I love Malta. I went to Malta as a child. Malta is where they filmed Popeye, which is a film I was really into as a kid. And Alexander says, I am in Ukraine and we are having Black Friday. I don't think we use an article with Black Friday. We are having Black Friday. I think would be correct. Actually, it looks like we are having a Black Thursday and a Black Saturday. Oh, wow. Okay, so the sales for you are being extended. And in fact, because over the last few years, there have been reports of crazy crowds of people fighting over things like televisions and computers, they have now extended the sales so that people don't literally hit each other in order to get the best deals, because people do go a bit mad. Hello Uldis, thank you as well for joining us. Just a quick note, if you are a VIP of this channel, thank you so much for joining. Make sure you do join in the Skype room as well as download your notes from the Dropbox. All the information on how to access that is in the community tab on this YouTube page. So that's for the VIPs. All right, so let me see what you guys are saying. Michael said, I am primed to pass my exam with flying colours. Yes, well done. That's a fantastic sentence. And you go for it. I hope that you do pass, fingers crossed, with flying colours, no doubt. I am poised for the gym. Yes, very good. I hope I'll be all poised for my exams well in advance. Yeah, good. Now, just so you know, poised is more often used when we're talking about physical action. It works in the way that you're using it at the moment for exams, but more often than not, natives will use it for a physical action. So you'd think a cat that's about to jump on the mouse is poised and ready. Okay, let's move on then, because we have a lot of vocabulary to cover and I'm hoping that Jacob will not wake up and start crying during this lesson. So let's keep moving. So next we have the word to predict. I'm not sure if you're familiar with this verb, but to predict is similar to estimate or to make an educated guess. I say an educated guess instead of guess because guess is completely random. If you guess something, you have no idea. But to predict something is to do it with a little bit of additional knowledge. So you make an educated guess about something that will happen in the future. So, for example, the banks might predict what will happen with the financial markets or with the housing market over the next few years. If you are into betting on the horses and you know that the horses are in good form, then you could predict who will win the race based on what you know about the horses and the trainers. Okay, so to make a prediction. And then we have this wonderful word, the word frenzy. Usually you are in a frenzy because it's a state of being. It's a state of uncontrolled excitement or wild behavior. I always think of someone throwing their arms around, screaming with excitement, squealing perhaps, like children do on Christmas morning when they see all the presents that Santa has left under the tree. They are suddenly in a frenzy. Okay? And then we have this phrase, bargain hunter. This is very apt for Black Friday. Are you a bargain hunter? A bargain hunter is a person who is searching for a good deal, basically. So someone who searches for a good deal, they want the best deal, they want the best price for their television, then they are a bargain hunter. And then we have the phrase to keep your wits about you. I use this quite often actually. To keep your wits about you. If I tell you to keep your wits about you, I'm saying stay alert, be aware. Don't close your eyes, metaphorically. So be aware, stay alert, keep your wits about you. Keep your wits about you. Try to remember that one. Okay, just like before, try to use one or a couple of these words or phrases in a sentence to help it to stay into your long-term memory. Okay, let me have a look at what my patrons are saying. So we have, just Francesca, you said, are primed and poised synonyms? Are they synonyms of each other, I think you mean. Yes, kind of. Poised is very much more to do with your physical being. Gosh, that's very loud. I hope that's not distracting you guys too much. But poised is very much about your body. Your body is poised. And primed can be used a lot more for equipment and for, things. I'm sure if you look it up in the dictionary, you'll see the differences between the two. But they can be used as synonyms of each other. Okay, what else do we have? Let me have a look in the Skype room. Okay, if you have requests for pronunciations, then do hold it to the end, because otherwise I'll lose the comment in all the comments that go around. Kip says, when changing Jacob's diaper, you must keep your wits about you. Yes, that is very true, and very, very apt for today, in fact, because he's had some terrible nappies. And something to bear in mind is diaper is an American word and nappy is the British English word. But everyone understands what a diaper is. So don't you worry about that. Okay. Hello, those of you who are just joining me. And I think I've had here, Jan, I think you dropped a super chat. So thank you very much. I didn't see any message. If you do leave a super chat, guys, thank you so much. Any donations to the channel do go back into saving up for equipment and helping me pay for things like childcare while I'm doing things like live lessons and preparing videos for you. So thank you very much for your donations, and do bear in mind, if you do leave a super chat, you can leave a comment that will be highlighted, so I definitely see your comment. So if you do leave a super chat, then ask a question. Feel free to make sure your comment is seen. So let me see, Mawia, I'm sorry if I've mispronounced that. You said, I'm poised to practice English stylishly like Ma'am Anna. Very good. My name is spelt with 2 N's though, and always names have a capital letter. Okay, let's jump back into the notes. Once we have gone through all of these words, we'll jump into the actual article. So the next word on the list is incentive. An incentive, it's a noun. It's a thing that motivates or encourages you to do something. So if I do a job, my incentive for working hard is that I earn money. Or maybe in your job, you get a bonus if you work really well. Perhaps you bring in new customers or you make more money for the business. And so your incentive to work hard is your bonus. Perhaps if you work with children, your incentive to work hard and do a good job is to see the children smile. So it's like your motivation or your reason for doing something, your incentive. Next we have the word plastered. Now, plastered can mean a lot of things. Plaster is it's like a material that starts off wet and you put it on the walls and it dries. Or if you're plastered, it could mean that you're drunk. So it's a slang term for drunk. But if you're talking about wording, if I say, like in the article we'll see, the wording was plastered on the box, it means that something's displayed widely and conspicuously. That's another good word. If something's conspicuous, it's very obvious. So if I have wording written on maybe I've got something written on my head, like teacher. You could say she had teacher plastered on her forehead if it's big and obvious. Okay, so plastered on. Try to remember that one. And talking about the word remember, the next phrase is to bear in mind. To bear something in mind just means to remember something or to be mindful of something for a particular reason. So if I am asking you to join me for today's live lesson, I will say to you, bear in mind that I have a little baby and my baby could cry at any point. So I'm asking you to be mindful of the fact that I have a little baby that might disturb the lesson, or for you to remember the fact that I have a little baby that might disturb the lesson. So bear this in mind. It's a great phrase. The next one is to guard against. This is sometimes used when meaning to protect from. So if you're buying a new computer, you might buy some special software to guard against infections or viruses. And it's just the same as saying you'll buy the software to protect your computer from viruses or from getting an infection. And before I jump back into the chat room, the next one on the list is to double check. We use this regularly. If you double check something, it just means you check it again, maybe 2 or 3 times, but we use the word double, to double check. So I've checked it again for a second time to ensure that it's accurate or that it's safe. Okay, so before I go any further, let me come back to the chat room and see how you guys are getting on. Okay. Mum, your pronunciation is so conspicuous. Even I struggle with that word. I have fallen for it. I'm so glad you're enjoying it. Hello. My incentive to learn language is your live classes. Thank you very much. I'm glad that it motivates you to learn English. Hi Anna, are Australian and British English the same? We all understand each other, but there are some words that they use in Australia that are different to the words we use here in Britain and the words they use in America. So there are lots of English-speaking countries that will have their own dialects, so their own set of words that we don't use in other countries. But we can generally understand the context and the gist of what is meant. Okay, so I'd like you guys to try and use some of these phrases. Here we go. So I've got Ruksar has said, he guarded his heart against any possible heartache. Beautiful sentence. Well done. Really nice. Just remember to put a full stop at the end of any sentence that you write. Amal says, have you heard about Cyber Monday? It's the Monday after Black Friday for tech and software sales. You're absolutely right. Yes, Cyber Monday comes after Black Friday. Bear in mind that I will miss no lesson. Very good. Really nice. Okay, let me jump into my patrons and then we'll do the last few little phrases before looking at the article. Keep your wits about you. She's going to stab you in the back. Very good. And for those people who don't know, the phrase to stab someone in the back, it's only one B, by the way, but to stab someone in the back means to betray them. It's a nice phrase. Thank you for bringing that up, Francesca. If my company hires somebody whom I recommend, I'll get an incentive in money. Yeah, I see what you're saying there. It kind of works. There would be a better way to put this sentence. So, my incentive for recommending a friend for a job is cash. It's not the best sentence in the world, but there is a better way to write this. I'll have a think and maybe message you after, Francesca. Okay, Alexander, ad says, $10,000 for someone who will sing the best. I've got a real incentive to sing like an angel. Though, that's not quite right. I'm not sure what you meant there. I'm sure that's probably just a typo. All day long, they tell me stupid, pointless, boring stories, and I have to stand there listening with a phony grin plastered on my face. Very good. For those of you who don't know, the word phony means false, fake, not real. Every mum guards her children against any disease. Yes, really nice, Francesca. Good sentence. And final one. Now, as an added incentive, the second to last team to arrive at the cabin will receive a Toblerone. So we don't need to have Toblerone candy. We just say we'll receive a Toblerone. Really nice. I love Toblerones. And lovely. Just there in the background is Spencer. Hi, Spencer.
Hello.
Spencer's just tidying up after mowing the lawn. Lovely. So, right, what are we doing? We're going to jump back into this list. There's 2 more on the list, and then we're going to read the article together. So I hope you're remembering all this vocabulary. So we have take advantage. If you take advantage of something, it means that you make good use of the opportunities offered. So on Black Friday, there are many offers and deals, very good prices. So people will take advantage of these low prices. They'll make use of the opportunity. And then finally, the word quest, which you may or may not have heard of before. A quest is a long or arduous search for something. So in your quest, in your search for something, this word is often used when we're talking about medieval times with knights and princesses. The knight will usually go off on a quest to find something. So a long and arduous search. And the word arduous, if you're not familiar, it basically means difficult, hard. If something is arduous, it's hard to do. Okay. So let's have a quick look at all those words. We had genuinely, honest, poised and primed, both meaning ready to go. Extravaganza, something spectacular that entertains you. To predict is to make a guess or an estimate. If something's a frenzy, it's uncontrolled, wild behaviour. A bargain hunter, people who look for a good deal. Keep your wits about you, be constantly alert and aware. An incentive, a reason for doing something. If it's plastered on, then it means it's displayed really obviously. Bear in mind means remember. Guard against, protect from. Double check, check something more than once to make sure you know what you're doing. Take advantage, make use of the opportunity. And your quest, your search for something. Okay, so hopefully most of that has sunk in, and we can now move on to reading the article. So this article is taken from the BBC website, BBC News website. The BBC is a well-respected body here in the UK, and they're usually hopefully impartial, but I always try and look for relative news that's not too sad, because sad news, we hear sad news every day, don't we? So I always try and find something a little bit more interesting. And of course, today's news is on Black Friday. So let's have a look at this article. What I want you to do is read along with me. If there's anything you're not sure about, do make a note of it, and I'll try and answer as many questions as I can afterwards. By the way, if you are still with me, I don't know how many people are here. 279 of you. Bless you. I imagine most people are shopping, but if you are here enjoying this, finding it helpful, please do give it a big thumbs up. And if you're learning English, but this is your first time here, or you're not already subscribed, then do click that subscribe button and the bell notification button so you don't miss out on any future live lessons. With my little baby now, it means that going live has to be on the spur of the moment. I can't plan and let everyone know in advance because I just don't know when my baby will be settled. So it's better for you to make sure you clicked that notification bell. All right, without further ado, let's get into this article. So let me clear this up for you, bring it on screen. Black Friday. Genuinely useful tips to get the best deals. Fingers are poised and trolleys are primed for the annual pre-Christmas sale extravaganza that is Black Friday and Cyber Monday. Price comparison site Finder.com predicts that British shoppers will spend £7 billion in the sales frenzy this year, an average of £220 each. But bargain hunters need to keep their wits about them. Here are some top tips. Number 1, be realistic. You're unlikely to get 50% off the latest iPhone. Newer products are still going to sell well at their original price, so there is less incentive for firms to put them on offer, especially tech devices. Consumer website Which also suggests being cautious about apparently amazing offers on unknown brands. Just because a TV has 4K and HDR plastered on the box doesn't mean it's going to have as good a picture as a Best Buy model, the website notes. Second tip, bargain checking. If you do spot a good deal, bear in mind that some stores change their prices several times a day, so it may not last. In some cases, you can guard against this by sticking the product in your shopping cart before double checking it's a bargain by searching elsewhere. If the store puts the price up in the meantime, you should still be able to complete the deal at the earlier advertised cost. And if it's gone down, you can empty the basket and then add the product back in again to take advantage of the change. There are also several websites, apps, and browser plugins that can aid you on your shopping quest. Remember, we had aid last week. Aid means help. And there we go. That's the link for the actual article if you want to read any further. But hopefully that's been enough to introduce you to at least a few new words. Let me just bring you back on screen. I was slouching there. You caught me. And now I'm sitting up straight. I'm poised. So poise also means to have good posture. To be poised, to be ready. Okay, so let me have a look at what my patrons are saying. I'm hoping you found that helpful and you didn't find it confusing in any way. Bohemian Rhapsody is an extravaganza. I recommend you to watch. So you could just say, I recommend you. You could say, I recommend you watch it. You don't need to. I recommend you watch it genuinely. I changed the order around. I genuinely recommend you watch it. I don't earn anything on that. Very good. Thank you, Francesca. And Alexander, what are the most popular price comparison sites in the UK? Do you use any? Yes. To be honest, I can't think of any off the top of my head. Let me have a quick look. Price, there is one that we use. Go Compare, I think, is quite a popular one. Oh, Compare the Market, because there's a big advertising campaign for Compare the Market, which is Compare the Meerkat. You know the meerkat? And they have the Thimples little catchphrase. I think they have Russian accents, these meerkats. They're very cute. So Compare the Market and Go Compare. Yes, so it really depends, but those are the two that I can think of off the top of my head. Off the top of my head is a phrase, I always use it, which means without researching, without preparing, it's just what comes into your mind at the time. If you can't remember something, you say, oh, I think it's this, but I'm thinking off the top of my head. I'm not checking the facts. Okay, so let me have a quick look at my chat room. Hello. I want to ask you how I start. I'm not quite sure what you mean. Hi Anna, I'm just wondering what kind of accent did you speak? North or South or London? Did you say it before? I can't remember. So originally I'm from the North. I have a Northern accent naturally, but I softened my accent. So I would say that I have a standard British English accent, which is more of the Southern vowels. So it's not a London accent. It's not a regional accent. It's more like a soft RP, if you're familiar with that, or a standard British English accent, which is what I encourage any non-natives to learn. It's best to steer away from learning regional accents because regional accents are for people from that region. It's part of the heritage. So if you're learning English, you either choose to learn general American English or standard British English, just like me. Okay, so now is the time for your questions, guys. So if you've asked a question before and I haven't answered, please throw it into the comments box now. So I love your sessions. Thank you very much. Those of you passing compliments, I do appreciate it. Thank you. And you can always show your appreciation by giving this video a thumb up. What do you mean by saying softening accent? So some people have a strong accent, which means it's very strong. So for example, if I'm speaking in my northern accent and I said the phrase, I walked up the path and took a bath. If I were doing a proper strong accent, I'd say I walked up the path and I took a bath. I walked up the path and I took a bath. That's a very strong northern accent. If I did it softly in a northern accent, I'd say I walked up the path and I took a bath. I walked up the path and I took a bath. A bath. It's so hard for me to switch between. But to be strong just means to be extreme in the accent. And if you want to soften it, it means you're coming closer to a standard accent. So it's not so broad. Does that make sense? I hope you'll do more videos on pronunciation. I do plan to. There's lots and lots coming up, especially in 2019. A lot of structured lessons coming your way, and definitely lots and lots on pronunciation. And for those of you interested, I do have a pronunciation course on my website, BritishEnglishPro.com. Okay, how is David? I love your lessons. How is David? Do you mean Jacob? I don't know who David is. I have a brother called David, but nobody knows about that. What else do we have? Can you please pronounce the word Q? Q. It's a funny spelling, isn't it? But it's very simple. Just like the letter, the word is Q. To line up for something, you queue up in British English. Anna, I have problems with remembering the word. Remembering words in general, I imagine. How can I study vocabulary? I have done many videos on how to increase your vocabulary and how to remember vocabulary. Really, there are tricks for remembering vocabulary if you have exams that you need to study for and remember stuff for. But in general terms, remembering vocabulary comes from repetition. Your brain can only form long-term memories if you repeat something a number of times. So you have to constantly be using the vocabulary that you're learning. Do you have Black Friday on today in the UK? Yes, we do. Don't ask me if I've spent any money in Black Friday, because I have. Oh, I spent money on equipment for the channel actually, and I probably shouldn't have done, but never mind. It's important for you guys. What's the difference between somebody and someone? They're interchangeable. Somebody, someone, they're pretty interchangeable, so I wouldn't worry too much. There might be a slight difference, but I'm not aware of what it is, to be honest. You're my favourite English teacher. I love your accent. You're doing a great job, from Guatemala. Thank you very much. That's very kind. Lady Anna, what does it mean? What do you mean about Macmillan Dictionary? Is it decent vocabulary to look up pronunciation? I would recommend the Cambridge or Oxford online dictionary if you're looking up pronunciations, mainly because they offer the British English pronunciation as well as the American English pronunciation, and many of you I know are learning American English, so you'll be able to see and hear the difference between the two pronunciations if you use Cambridge and Oxford, I believe. How is your baby? My baby is okay. He's still fast asleep, so maybe next Friday he'll be awake enough to join us for a lesson. One of you asking how to pronounce elderly. 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 Come again. Extravaganza. Extravaganza. Imagine it like a K. Extravaganza. Do you think your lessons can help somebody who's moving to the USA? Yes, of course. American English and British English, we we understand each other very, very well. There's only a couple of words that are different, and there's slightly different pronunciation, but we all speak English. So if you're learning English, then whether you're learning from a British English teacher or an American English teacher, it's all helpful. Okay, let me jump back into my VIP patron room. Hello. So what have we got here? What kind of books do you read to your kid? I'm super interested because I try to learn English stories. I've tried to read English stories to my son, but I don't know what books are considered English baby classics. So I'm only reading the very early stage of baby books at the moment because he's such a tiny baby. But my recommendation of children's books, classic children's books, would be the Winnie the Pooh books by A.A. Milne. You've got classic stories like Peter Pan, obviously the Disney books. We have a book here at the moment called The Gruffalo, is quite popular. The Little Caterpillar, The Hungry Caterpillar was a famous book. But yes, the Winnie the Pooh range, but it depends how old the child is. Although I love Winnie the Pooh even now. All right, what else do we have? Speaking of Black Friday, is there an idiomatic expression to say, I'm without money, I can't spend anything? In Italy, we say, I'm on green. We would say, if you are in debt, we'd say, I'm in the red, which means you're in debt, so you can't spend anything. But we could say, I'm skint. But that's slang, just meaning I've got no money. I hope that works. Could you please pronounce knackered and naked? So that's a short vowel knackered, meaning tired. I'm knackered. And naked, meaning you've got no clothes on, is a diphthong. Naked. Knackered, naked. Anna, could you please pronounce this sentence? At first, the course wasn't quite what I had expected because it didn't cover the subjects I was particularly interested in. Okay. In my country, many shops cheat with Black Friday discounts, and if they get caught, then they are in big trouble. Yes, it is a concern, isn't it? You don't want to be tricked into spending money on something that you think is a bargain. And Alexander, are you learning any languages right now? No. When sorting through my books, I did keep hold of all my Spanish material and my French books, but in honesty, I've always been too busy. And now with little baby Jacob, it's hard to find time to eat, never mind do anything else. So no, at the moment my language learning is on a hiatus. Hiatus means taking a break. So it's frozen. Thank you, Anna. I realised the difference between two words. Okay, thank you. You're welcome, Francesca. All right, a couple more questions, and then I'm going to move on. Bradley Walker has made a suggestion for you, Alexander, with the children's books, and said the Chronicles of Narnia are good books for older children. C.S. Lewis had a real affection for the English language. Yes, the Chronicles of Narnia, really good books. I would second that. Thank you, Bradley. That's what this community is about. I love it. Do you teach the phonetic alphabet? Says Dubad. Ali. Yes, I have done a video all about the phonetic alphabet, which if you just go onto my video tab and search for IPA or International Phonetic Alphabet, you can find that video quite easily. Okay, what's the difference between resolve and resolution? It's the type of word, isn't it? So to resolve, it's your verb, and resolution is the noun. It is a resolution. This is the resolution. This is how I am going to resolve a problem. Okay, so one is a verb and one is a noun, I believe. How to improve reading skills. I have a video all about how to improve your reading skills and how to improve your writing skills. Maybe I haven't done the reading skills. I think I've done listening and writing. Okay. I will do a video about how to improve reading skills. I don't think I've got one out there. but it might be worth checking my video tab. I don't know what I've done. There are so many videos there. Okay, hi Anna. It's my first time to join a live video and I'm excited to do it. Welcome, Benjamin. It's lovely to have you here. Is there a way to learn correct pronunciation when learning on my own? Normally, I do hear myself differently. It sounds not like a native speaker if I record and replay it. Okay, so one of the best things you can do if you're studying English on your own and you want to have good pronunciation, which should be a priority, by the way, because pronunciation is key when learning language. I highly recommend that you listen to the language on a daily basis. And there are a number of ways you can do that. You can watch films, you can listen to music and sing along. But when it comes to pronunciation, you really want to hear it spoken in a very natural way. So listening to podcasts, listening to radio stations where there's lots of chat, and also listening to audiobooks. Now, I listen to audiobooks and podcasts on a daily basis, and there is a 30-day free trial available in the description box below for Audible. With that, you get one free audiobook, and so that's for free. Once your 30-day trial is done, if you don't want to continue with Audible, you just cancel the subscription so you don't pay a penny. So you may as well make the most of that opportunity and get a book. Something by Stephen Fry is what I always recommend because he has a wonderful British accent. So, or someone else, but do get a British audiobook and have a good listen. Enjoy the story, but also really, really listening to the accent. Shadow it, go back, listen again, and repeat. Speak with the reader. That's the best way to work on pronunciation. That's how babies learn. Okay, final couple of questions. How do you pronounce literally? Literally. Thanks, Anna. Your program has helped me a lot in developing my English. I follow you from Uganda. Wonderful, thank you. Is it really baby English to use a lot of instead of many? No, I wouldn't say so. I use the words a lot of all the time. There's a lot of things to get done. There's a lot of laundry waiting to be washed, sat in the laundry basket. I have a lot of things to do. So I use a lot of regularly. I wouldn't say that I have baby English. No, I hope that answers your question. Alarm. How to pronounce alarm? Alarm. Nice big open vowel. Don't use the letter R. We don't want alarm. That's going more towards American English. British English, alarm. Okay, and the very last comment will be taken by Alexander. Anna, do you talk with us more slowly or is that your usual pace? The reason I ask is that I understand everything you say, but whenever I watch a film, I sometimes have some troubles. So, I do, with some sentences, slow things down. It depends what I'm saying, but generally and genuinely, honestly, this is how I normally talk. I'm just a little bit more aware of my enunciation. So I work my mouth a little bit harder, which is where you will find the difference between my videos and watching films or television programs. Because naturally, people tend to mumble. They're just kind of a bit lazy and they kind of mumble, how are you? Yeah, I'm good. How are you? And when you're presenting, when you're teaching, it's important that you enunciate. So you use your muscles a little bit more and make your speech a little clearer. So that's the difference. It's just enunciation rather than speed or pace. Okay, thank you so much guys for joining me. There are plenty of other videos on this channel, so if you have some spare time, then why not have a look through my video backlog and join me on another lesson. I will I will try to be live again, same time next Friday. But to know exactly when I'm going to be live, please do subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out. If you found this helpful and think it will help others, I'd appreciate a share. And if you would like to join me in the chat room or get access to the notes that I've written today, they will be available for free for my patrons and my VIPs, which is already in your Dropbox. Patrons, VIPs, I'm going to enter it to your Dropbox now, and you can make the most of those and other notes. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me. I do hope that you enjoy the Black Friday sales. Don't spend too much money. And the Cyber Monday sales. But do bear in mind that you have to stay alert and be aware of any wrongdoing by these advertisers. Okay, take care. Love from me and from Sleepy Baby English. See you soon.